Hello, Internet. Welcome to me. It's me. This is my face. You know, I bring tea to my videos. Today it's Eeyore, but I don't have enough mugs for this. I'm gonna run out of mugs. I talk a lot about romance, not just on this channel, but in my life. And today I'm not going to do that. Nope, instead I'm gonna talk about what the internet seems to think is the natural enemy of romance. Actual human friendships. F is for friends who do stuff together. Or as I like to call it, I really like Stranger Things. I like Stranger Things. You like Stranger Things. We all like Stranger Things. And if you don't, people generally in life tend to have friends. What? Shock horror. And people generally tend to like their friends. I know. So that's why I don't understand why there's this weird aversion to two people being very close friends. People are always like, they can't be just friends, they must date. Harry and Hermione, I'm looking at you. Do you date all of your friends? No, neither do I, because that would be weird. So why do we always expect fictional characters to date anybody that they're ever friends with? That's weird. In life, friends are the people you have fun with. Think about the friends from Friends. They spend their time together eating food, drinking, chatting, watching TV. They just hang out. And yes, even though Monica and Chandler do get married and Ross and Rachel end up together, the show really is about friendships. So again, it really confused me when people were really upset about the fact that Joey and Phoebe don't end up together. Yes, they have a very flirty relationship and it's adorable, but you don't need to pair off every two people within a group. That never happens in real life, and that's weird. So in fiction, you don't always get to see someone's day in the life, because we have a plot to worry about. But there are a couple of really important tenets of friendship that are heavily relied upon in fiction, because you still have to trust and support your friends even when you're running away from a Demogorgon. Let's take a look at support. When friends support each other in fiction, especially in fantasy adventure stories, which I tend to really like, they're always ready to die for their friends. I think one of the best examples from recent memory is Bucky and Steve from the MCU. Like, Steve has nearly gotten himself killed like 3 to 5 times over the course of 2 films just to avoid hurting his old friend. Bucky is willing to put himself back in stasis just to avoid hurting the world. They are always there for each other. They're always fighting for each other, unless Bucky is brainwashed. Especially Steve, who is not brainwashed, is willing to and has nearly died to keep his friend safe. That is the ultimate show of friendly support. Similarly, in my all-time favorite program, because magic and it makes me happy, is Merlin, in which Arthur and Merlin have a very, very close and supportive friendship, and they're always willing to risk themselves for the other one. Arthur probably puts himself at risk specifically less often than Merlin does, but he has done it, going off and getting an antidote for poison for him, standing up to his father. But Arthur's real contribution to the friendship is in his lack of knowledge of Merlin's actual badassery. He always steps in front of Merlin in a fight, sends him away when he thinks he's in danger. He's constantly trying to protect his friend. On the flip side, Merlin is doing everything he possibly can to keep his friend safe every second of the day. Anytime Arthur is about to die, and it's a lot, Merlin risks his life and nearly dies on multiple occasions. These two groups of friends are so willing to be there for the other one, so naturally, both couples are shipped. And I know that I wouldn't notice romantic chemistry if it slapped me over the face, but I didn't see it in either of them. I get it in hindsight, the long looks, the I'll do anything for you lines, especially on Merlin's end. But when I was watching it, I did not see them as lovers, I saw them as friends. Now, in real life, we don't often come across situations in which you're gonna die for your best friend. If you do, it really sucks. And that really sucks. No, when we support our friends, we do that by just being there for them, sitting with them when they're having a bad day, letting them vent their frustrations to you. And that's really nice to see in fiction, because I really like that relationship that I have with my friends. And so it's really nice to see other people having that sweet, nice, supportive relationship. My favorite book of all time is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and within it, the main character is going through some shit. The whole point of the story is him finding his niche, finding friends who will be there for him despite all of the shit he's been through. And it's really sweet. And yeah, he spends a lot of it pining after a girl, but the fact is he makes a whole group of friends who are willing to support him in everything he does, and it's really, really nice to see. It gets me every single time. More recently, Crazy Ex-Girlfriends season 2 and 3 has a girl group formed, and I love watching girlfriends when I'm reading or watching TV. I fucking love it. But if you know anything about the premise of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, you know that the main character, Rebecca, is also going through some shit. And despite this, her friends are there for her. When she has a rough day, they sleep over at her house. They take her in if something goes wrong, and it's really, really nice to see women supporting each other and just really being there for each other, despite the fact that one character has already been labeled by one of the girls in the friend group as crazy. Right, sapping is over. I really love seeing supportive friendships. I love it so much. So the other thing that's really important to friendships is trust, and seeing friends just trust each other's judgment. I love it. So this is where I saved Harry Potter for, because yes, they do try and die for each other, but in Harry Potter, no matter what Harry does, Ron and Hermione are like, yep, I'm behind you. They trust him even when they don't necessarily agree with his judgment. Suspecting Draco of being a Death Eater in The Half-Blood Prince is a prime example of this. Them just saying, I'm not quite sure you're right, but we're definitely gonna stake out Borgin and Brooks for you. And they do. They're always there to support Harry even when they're not quite sure they agree with him. So when Harry and Ron have a falling out, which they quite often do, you don't want to see friends like this fighting. They are the power trio. So when the trust is breached, it hits you like a gut punch. And that's part of the reason why the trust element of Harry Potter is so effective. Okay, as promised, now we're going to talk about Stranger Things. Yay! The people I'm living with recently started watching it from season 1, and when they do, I get no schoolwork done. One of the things I love so much about Stranger Things is that in season 1, Lucas is like, guys, this is dangerous. But when it comes down to it, Lucas trusts that they know what they're doing and ends up getting out his wrist rocket, I love it, to fight the Demogorgon. By the end of it, he's willing to risk his life for his friends, even though he did leave the group for a while in the middle there. Ultimately did it because he was worried for his friends' safety, and when he realized the danger everyone was in, rushed back because he knows that his friends need him. He's starting with that layer of trust and then building from there is what makes Stranger Things so great. When it first starts out, you see the 4 friends just playing Dungeons and Dragons together. That's what they do. That's their life. They hang out together and it's great. And as you go along, you see them slowly building on that trust to say, we're in danger, and they come together to fight off the Demogorgon. Friends are great. Friendships show up everywhere in real life, in fiction, in space. I'm sure there are friends in space. And I think it's really amazing when friends, real true friends, are represented on screen. Friendships are layered, they're dynamic, and when you get a really, really good set of friends, like my examples, but there's so many more, you get a really well-rounded and rich story. When you have friends, everyone's a main character and everyone's in a supporting role. You're there for each other. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, unless that relationship is toxic. I feel like romance is hyped up too much. Do we all want to read sex? No, not all of us do. Apparently, but sometimes there are relationships that are just as rich and just as exciting that don't involve doing the thing. So that's my not so subtle rant about why friends are great, and we should all want to read about friends. Even my mug understands the power of friendship. He was super depressed and Winnie the Pooh loves him anyway. We can all learn from Winnie the Pooh. I promised my friend I would do this, so F is for fire that burns down the whole town. SpongeBob. It exists. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button over here, down below somewhere. I've also linked all my social medias in the description box, so please don't forget to check those out. Thank you again so much for watching. I post new videos on Thursdays, so I'll see you all next week. Bye, go have fun with your friends.